Hi, I'm Brian from the Tin Man's Garage. I'm here with our 36 Willys Pickup. We built for our customer Ron Ernsberger, lives in Ohio. We've done a lot of customization with this car. We've kind of based it around the motor, which is an Arius V6 Hemi. Arius built 5 of these motors. They took their 10-liter engines and cut the back 2 cylinders off the molds, and they created these V6s. There's only 5 of these in existence. It's a 498 cubic inch engine with a Hillborn injection. With this specific engine and the size of it, it produces 800 horsepower, which is a little bit more than the standard V6. So we've taken the original mechanical injection and converted it to EFI, and the injectors are underneath the runner tubes. And it's all run through a fast computer. We've got an aftermarket missile oil pump on it, and we've custom made the stainless steel headers. We've kept the interior fairly traditional, like a race car, so it's got a roll cage, and the steering column is supported by part of the roll cage. And we've got a traditional diamond pleat leather interior. Kept the original style gauges, and we've remachined the buttons and everything for the headlights and the turn signals to make them look like they're all original designs. We've got an overhead switch panel that's CNC machined to control the ignition, the battery, and the water. And we've handmade the pedal assembly for the clutch and the brake and the fuel. That's an original Schroeder 4-spoke sprint car steering wheel, which they are no longer around. So this is an original rubber grip steering wheel. It's a quick release hub to remove it to get in and out a little easier. We've done a ton of metal modifications to this truck. We've built a lot of it from scratch, and we've modified a lot of it so it doesn't look quite like the original. We've done a lot of work to the fenders. We actually sectioned them down this way to make them more narrow. We brought them in 1.5 inches on each side. We actually tucked the back of the fenders up and reworked the cab so they flow into there. There's no apron or running board on it now. And we also bobbed this area to bring it up like they used to do on gassers. The hood top, we've removed the piano hinge in the middle that opened this way. We've reworked these hood sides. They're not on right now, but they originally came in and stopped in here. We actually took this reverse curve and brought it all the way back to the hood to clear the valve covers and still make it look like it was almost original. We've reworked the original hood emblem and cut a lot of mass off of it and reworked the back of it with the new hood design. And we reworked how this actually opens in here. The seam used to be around here, and we cut that all apart and moved the seam there so it kind of continues from the hood side gap. The grille is water jet cut out of stainless steel. We've CNC machined the headlight rings and the old horn bezels to make them look like the originals but with no fasteners, and we actually incorporated a turn signal into the old horn buttons. We've reworked the front of the fenders and changed the design here and the shape, and bobbed this up and also remade this entire front chin piece. We've included an original Moon style gas tank in the front that we've had chrome plated with a 3-spoke knockoff. So with the cab is the biggest modification that we've made. We've actually remade the entire back of the cab. So the only thing that's original is the door and the cowl and the windshield. We cut from here and redesigned the entire back of the cab. A lot of people think that this is actually stretched out, but all Willys in this era, the B-pillar were all the same on all the cars. So the door length was never the same between the 4-doors, the coupes, even the trucks were the same. So if you look inside of here, there's actually latches in the back for the 4-door to come into. And this little panel here was always exposed on the cars, and the 4-doors, they'd cover it up, but on the trucks it was exposed. So when we redesigned the back of the cab, we only made it 1 inch longer, but we redesigned all these belt lines. They originally just sort of stopped and nothing really happened. So we, continued this drip rail, created this faux back window to continue those B details, and then we reworked this body line. We've also included a roll-up back window that's electric, so you can roll the back window up and down. And if you look right here in the bed, that's actually the license plate. The license plate comes up and down out of that little slot. We didn't have any nice location to put the license plate, so we wanted to hide it, make it look like a true race car, so we stuck it in that little pocket of the bed. For the bed, we've remade the entire bed from scratch. It's all based on the original dimensions. So the design, the angles are all original, the bead details. The only thing we've done is sort of clean everything up and box it. You know, we made everything double wall so that the bead detail goes out and in, and it matches all the way around. Originally, this was all just made out of angle iron and poorly welded, so we tried to refine everything and make it look a little more contemporary. We've shaped the rear fenders from scratch to look more like a car fender, and bob those and also add a little bit of a flare to the back to kind of match the front. And then we've got some specialty stainless steel investment cast latches that we've reworked and done a lot of detail work to kind of make those look nice as well. Another unique feature about the truck is this chassis we built. We've got about 2,000 hours in this frame and this suspension. Everything is 83 thousandths tubing, and it's all double notch, so the center lines of the tubes intersect the other tubes. The goal was to keep the frame height tall so that it would hang down and the suspension point would be picked up through the frame for the ladder bars. And the frame height adds the rigidity, and we didn't want to run a roll cage tube out of the back of the cab. So we made the frame a little bit beefier. It looks pretty big, but since it's such a thin wall tubing, the frame actually only weighs 270 pounds without the suspension. We've got a Dana 70 rear end in it that we've narrowed and made custom brakes for. We've made the ladder bars for it, which fit the vintage Halloran wheels with the 8 lugs. And then in the front, we've got a custom dropped axle that we've made, a tube dropped axle with custom springs and steering, and pretty much everything on it is one-off made parts to make everything work and function the way we needed it to. The Dana 7 that we chose for the rear end was based on these vintage Halloran magnesium wheels. So these are real magnesium wheels. We were polishing them, and they have a beautiful look, but you literally have to polish them, and you could walk away in a few hours on a summer day and they would be fogged over. So it's like a living, breathing creature. So we've finally let them go, and they're going to start tarnishing because we just can't polish them anymore. We're taking too much material off, but it's got a full floater from the Dana 70 and a Hurst cheater slick in the back. And in the front, we also have a vintage Halloran wheel, but it's a spindle mount, so there's no front brakes, you know, like the old gassers that run and the slingshots. So we've got this build book that we made for the truck when we competed at the Grand National Roadster Show for the Slonaker Award. And this truck was a little rough when we got it. You can see its original condition. It was actually mounted to a postal right-hand drive mail truck chassis, and they had cut all the fenders up for the steering box and welded some gas pipe in there. But between the bird and rat's nests in it, we pretty much took it all apart, and then we had everything cleaned, and then started from scratch rebuilding the cab. But you can see we definitely had not much to start with. So we've spent 8 years building this truck. We've got over 12,000 man hours in it, so it's definitely a labor of love. We've been really fortunate with this truck. We debuted it in 2020 for the Slonaker competition, and we actually won that. And since then, we've gotten a ton of publicity with the truck. We were featured on the cover of Hot Rod Magazine, Wheel Hub. We've also participated in Good Guys, and we were selected for Truck of the Year early. So we're still competing for that, and we're like here at this show at the NSRA Nationals in Louisville, and we're just super tickled with everybody loving the truck and continuing to show it and have fun with it.